Trucking Radio 24/7. Adding some more flavour to your day with another truck podcast.
Trucking Radio 24/7. Time now for The Moot, where three passionate truckies talk trucks.
Carl Kirkbeck here, and I'm here with Dave McCoid and Gavin Myers. And we're here for the 5-minute moot that seems to...
the 30-minute moot.
Yeah.
When Muzz started working here, he had 3 hairs in his head, and then he came up with the idea of the 5-minute moot, and now he's got none.
Yeah, well, we're here today to sort of talk about the trucks that sort of turn us on and the trucks that turn us off. And I'm going to put my neck out on the block here to start off with, and I sort of say, look, we had the T600 Kenworth, great looking truck, magic looking truck, and then there was the T601, and you might remember the Sloanes variant of that. They had the big high-sided,
yes. I remember carting wood shavings to Kumu, and that truck caused me to be unattentive.
Yes. No, it was one of those trucks that certainly did that. But then, after the T601 came the T604, and I'm sorry, but something went wrong there. And that's one that just I look at and go, oh, no. So, yeah,
the old 3-piece grill, Captain K. I'm texting Bradley Gallagher as we speak, telling him that exactly. He'll be listening.
Yeah, no, he will be, actually. So, sorry, Braddles, but your one was cool. Side on, just not from the front. But there it is. I'm putting my head on the block first. All right. So yeah, that's one that definitely doesn't turn me on.
Yeah. Well, Gav's got a doozy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, 2 things on that. Without at the risk of getting into a terrible debate here, I don't quite mind the T604. I don't think it's awful. Put it that way. It's definitely not the most awful, and I'm going to see you and raise you.
Here we go.
The original Iveco Power Star. The early ones with those big vertical grills. Those
that's
round, oddly positioned headlamps.
Yeah, that's certainly a face that only a mother could love.
And the thing is, it never had a like a. I don't know what to call it, like a chrome, like it's like you were looking edge on at the bonnet.
Yeah.
Like it had no chrome fascia around the front or a plastic. The Power Star that came after it, as you say, Gav.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had a
handsome truck.
Had a bevel, or no, I don't know what you call it.
Well,
like a soffit around the and it was a great looking truck.
Well, they used the headlights out of the cab over. They actually did the rectangular headlight thing, and that's Karen, and it sort of sweetened the whole thing up. But yeah, that 2-piece grill, crikey.
And yet, look, yes, that was a really interesting truck, that original Power Star with the vertical grill bars. But like any truck, there one will pop up that just writes its name into history, and I always loved seeing, and I don't know where it's gone. It was around for bloody donkey's years. Was that Emerson's one with the B train? That had brought used to with the drop side of B train, and that truck was. I'll tell you what this is. This is a classic case of Jeremy Clarkson's cool wall.
Yeah, we need to start there, don't we?
Because that truck.
Yeah.
That truck had everything not going for it. It was an Iveco Power Star, the original one with the vertical grill bars, blah, 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 day cab, and shit, it was cool. It was the coolest one ever.
Yeah.
You're going to have to find a picture of that for me, because something needs to come and sort of change soften my perception.
I remember
of that truck, because every time I see one.
Yeah. Well, I hear you there, Gav, because I remember actually seeing the adverts in the magazines when they first came out, and I remember actually sort of getting my 2 index fingers and actually blocking out 2 of the headlights to see if it would actually look better with only single headlights.
Yeah,
and mildly better.
That was a truck you're talking about.
Yeah, the truck. That's it. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yes.
Best and what about you, Dave?
Yeah, come on, come on, mate. Be brave.
Looking truck designs. Oh well, I don't know. I don't want to be cruel because when you're an ugly man, you feel the pain of people. You feel the pain of people pointing the finger and laughing at your facial. And so, yeah, I don't know. I sort of go in the cool way. I can't. I'd have to say the Mac Quantum really irritated me because they just spelt it wrong.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't. I don't know. It just never. We had a heap of them in the fleet. We had a heap of them in the provincial fleet, and yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Just trying to say diplomatic here.
Yeah. And cool trucks.
Trucks. Go there.
Yeah.
Then. Go
Okay.
there.
Yeah. And of course, when you've lived as long as we have, which is longer than some and not as long as others, there's been some grouse trucks come through history, and I always Scania LKT 111 sleeper cab rear entry step set forward axle. Oh my giddy aunts.
Yes. Yeah, and then
did you have those over in the land of green rugby jerseys?
Yeah, we might have.
You were probably on. You wouldn't have been on solid food, I'd imagine.
Time. Yeah. Well, I mean, we had the later sort of models like the 143s and those sorts of things. Which I think in itself is a pretty cool looking truck as well. They can be pretty good looking.
Yeah. 143s, yeah.
But it doesn't matter who bought a 111 with a set forward front axle and rear entry step.
Yeah.
They instantly become the coolest person on. Like they were.
They were just. I mean, we had certainly some real cool ones over here, but there was
the Europa tankers, the T series, when they pulled the front axles forward on those T series Scania with a set forward front axle.
Yeah. But the just going back to the triple ones, the moment you mention that truck, the vision that comes to mind straight away is Truck and Life magazine opening up the bloody poster, and there's a triple one with a bloody flat deck McGrath triaxle with gates and tarps and what sort of carry on, ready to do a run to up the Pacific Coast Highway sort of, and you just those trucks, they just look super bloody cool. They were
Yeah, and I have to say, Carl, that when it comes to the redesign of an like where sort of there's a bit of thin ice with the old. Yeah, slinging a bit of shit at our good friends over the Tasman with the 604 Kenworth because the first time an RB Mac ever drove in the yard, I went, I'm going to struggle with that. We're going to served a purpose, extremely cost effective, and looked like it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
the trouble is. It came from one of the most gorgeous trucks ever built in the history of trucks. The R model Mac, regardless of the fact of what it was to ride in and all of that sort of thing, but no straight panels, curves everywhere.
Yeah.
Just a gorgeous looking truck, and then they just plonked a big square Weet-Bix packet on the front of it with a beveled tail light and a chrome grille, and they kept the curved cab at the back of it. It was just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. But somehow square edges on a bonnet in front of that cab worked on the Superliner.
That's right. Yeah,
but
the Superliner, like you say, square edges, but the more you look at a Superliner, it curves over the front. It curves at the back of the guards. It's as far as you could square a R model and still make it cool.
There were set forward axle versions in the States. They weren't known as the RB or anything like that, but there was in the construction. I don't know which model it was now, but if you go and have a bit of a look, and they actually have quite a square bonnet in the front of them for the R model with and those looked reasonably cool. They weren't too bad, but that whole sweeping back the headlights and bringing the axle back, it was just like, oh my goodness. But see, at the same time, Australia were in the same boat, and they were doing the value liners, and they still looked cool.
Australia won that one.
They did. They won that battle. There was still the twin round headlights and everything like that, and then there was the V8 value liner that was that was a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. The dear old RB, again, a face that only a mother could really.
So probably that would have to go into my.
You've
got another. We don't want to be picking on Bayswater too much here. But you always go straight for the K100E with the setback axles.
That's a hard one, is it? Because
they stood on the brakes in the cab shop for to meet it.
yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yeah.
But once again,
put it in Scott's colours.
Mate.
And you got one of the best looking trucks that ever went on the road.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Put it in Scott's colours, give it to Daggy and Mel, and
yeah, that's exactly it. And it's so it's a fine line. It's a personal taste, shall we say?
Oh, absolutely.
I got one out of left field, probably.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What about Ford Louisville 9000?
Oh,
LTL 9000.
LTL the long
9000, yeah.
Ooh,
oh, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
That is a cool looking truck.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. But is it true that they reckon that they're quite the big hood and all that sort of carry on? There's all sorts of mixed. Well, there was a comment. There was a comment once upon a time that cool truck to look at, but you wouldn't want to own one.
Oh, really? I've got no idea.
Yeah, there was something. Yeah.
I had a mate that drove one of Ballin's ones that combined, and neat truck to ride in. The inside, that big deep sweeping dash.
Again, real superliner sort of feel.
And I mean, we got one CL 9000 out here, Whistling Dixie, sadly it was the only one we ever got here, but that was. Yeah, but no, absolute. No, that would rank in the.
That goes on the cool wall. Mm-hmm. I think we need to do that.
We've got to in the office.
I reckon a cool wall.
We do. Yeah.
Let's send us in use the shout out feature on the app.
Yep.
Trucking Radio 24/7. Tell us what needs to go on the cool wall.
Yeah.
And we'll all decide. Same. It's going to be the same.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take a leaf out of Jeremy Clarkson's book.
Yeah, and it took me a long time to get where they were going with that.
Yeah.
But I finally got it. I finally thought, okay. And they did right. They did right. And a classic case example is that Emerson's Iveco Power Star Series 1.
Exactly.
It's like it had everything that going against it.
Yeah.
And yet it was neat.
Yeah, exactly.
I foresee a few office arguments.
Yes.
No, you foresee a few more office arguments. Yeah.
What's that doing there?
Yeah. And there you have it. There's this week's Moot.
You've been listening to the 5-Minute Moot with Dave McCoid, Gavin Myers, and Carl Kirkbeck. Any thoughts? Just get hold of Carl at nztrucking.co.nz.